international conference.
Yeah, I'll be taking it to the International Assembly, and then we'll have it at Pets, all my people, and moving forward. Yes.
All right. All right, folks, let's call the meeting to order. It's 5:33, so that's the start time. And I don't want to take up too much of your time, so we'll move forward. Okay, thank you for that. All right, so did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes from November 20th?
I've reviewed them, and I would propose that we accept them.
Seconded.
Anybody else? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so the minutes have been passed. I didn't see any changes on it, so let's go ahead onto the agenda. I'm going to share the agenda since I can't. Let's hope that shows up. Here's my agenda.
Stephen and Shaka are frozen in time.
Dave, I can try sharing it if that'll help.
Yeah, go ahead, but I did make some changes, but go ahead and share that, please. I've got my hard copy in front of me, so I can use that as what I'm going through.
All good.
All right, so as you folks know, that on the 25th, we are having a training that is for our pets, president-elects, and it's basically just going over all of the items that we have for training for the year. Let me pull up my screen. Am I still there, guys?
Yes. The agenda is up. Your voice is up.
Yeah.
But I don't see you as one of the, oh wait. Oh, there you are. Okay, I just had to move down, then I saw you as an attendee.
Yeah, I'm an attendee, but I'm not able to see the screen. Hold on a second. Let me change this. I don't know why I'm having so many problems today. All right, there we go. I enlarged it. Okay. So basically what we're looking at is a 15-minute session that I've got carved out for this Saturday. That is the 25th, that is going to be talking about the agenda of all the training that's going to be done per the foundation. And if we looked at that list, it's basically the following items. The first one is March 29th is the Club Action Plan Workshop. Can someone share with me what the Club Action Plan Workshop is? Is that new, Naomi, or is that something we've always done?
Oh, we've been doing that for the last couple of years. We used to call it Vibrant Club Workshop. And so this is for the board to learn how to do an action plan, a strategic plan in their club, and to take back that information to their club and actually do one or update the action plan in their club.
And who normally runs that particular meeting?
Benson.
Okay. So that one is on the 29th, and Benson will be running that one. And so what I'm going to be doing is basically on Saturday is just going through the litany of all of these different items and make sure I fully understand them so we can give them a 15-minute dissertation of all of the training that's going to be dealing with the foundation. The other one is the District Training Assembly, which is actually a not two-part, but two different sessions that are duplicate. April 5th, April 12th, and then there's the International Services, which is also a 2 sessions. That's April 23rd, April 27th. And then we got grant qualifications, October 11th. Global Grant Project Fairs, October 11th, and World Polio Day, October 24th, which is usually Roz. And then the Rotary Foundation, the Y for all the Rotarians, the big Y for all the Rotarians on the Rotary Foundation, which is an hour-and-a-half presentation. All of these have long durations, so I would assume, Naomi, that on a lot of these training, like the training assembly, there's lots of different training that's going on, and the foundation is just one element of it. And so do we know how much time we're being given on that particular arena, or is it one of those things where people have a choice to attend the foundation one or not?
Right, they'll have a choice of which Zoom room they want to go to, and it's going to be like 45, 50 minutes.
Okay, so 45 to 50 minutes.
Yep.
Okay, so I will be looking for you folks to help out in some of these and take over some of that responsibility. I know, Steve, you're talking about something else on that day and something else, but it's not germane to what you're doing for the foundation, correct? Okay.
I'm muted, correct.
So any questions on that particular area, or Naomi, anything that I need to talk to them about further?
Well, for the pre-pets, this is to plan for the year coming up for the PEs. And so you might want to think about what you want to tell them that you want them to do. So for instance, if you want them to look at their goals and try and get Request Society or whatever, this is a time that you need to say, this is what we need you guys to do.
Okay, so Nancy, you're part of that too, because we want to basically fit within some of the
am.
goals.
I
No.
am. Unfortunately, the 25th is a day that I am airborne flying home from Alabama here. So
No, we don't need you to be speaking, Dick, on the 25th. The 25th, I've got 15 minutes to go through all of this, so
Okay.
it's just me.
When we do this, and I'll be ready to do that, what I want to do is impart to the president-elect that it is very important that they set their goals in all areas, including foundation. DG Ted's done a great job of pushing us to get goals for all of the clubs. It doesn't automatically translate into larger per capita contributions, but it gives people something to shoot for. And
Well,
then,
Dick, I don't mean to interrupt you. I don't think that's the question. I think what we're dealing with is wanting to see if we come up with a goal that Nancy is looking at trying to set up for next year. For instance, let's say we did $300,000 in annual giving. Are we going to ask them to see if they could push that to a 10% increase?
I will look at that and certainly be willing to offer a figure by tomorrow.
Okay.
But that's my vote. I think others need to vote on that.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we need to be able to tell them on Friday is, what type of things. Obviously, we're going to talk to them that we want 100% of everybody putting in their grant or their foundation goals, which means they both for polio as well as for annual giving, and get 100% of the clubs giving as we have this year. But we also want to talk to them about anything that is in line with what Nancy wants as far as a direction and what we may as a committee come up with. So if Nancy says, let's do 5, nothing stops us as a committee to say, no, we want 10%, let's do 10%. Then we'll go back to Nancy and say, we're going to try to get more for you, Nance. I don't think we'll go any lower than you, what you've asked for, but that's just some of the stuff that we're looking for the meeting on Saturday that I'll discuss with the troops.
Okay,
All right. Anything else, Naomi, on that?
Well, we will be covering how to enter goals into Rotary Club Central, so you don't need to take some of your time, too much of that time on that. And we will go over the calendar, and they will be getting a printout of the calendar with all of these dates. So you don't need to spend too much time on the training calendar either.
Yeah, I only have 15 minutes. I'm going to basically just say this is a time for us to plan for your year. and how to enter your goals and objectives. But that's I'm not going to go into the dotting the I's and crossing the T's, because that'll take up all my 15 minutes, and we got to go through this whole list. So, okay, I may pick some of your brains on some of these other items that we've got on that list, since it's a one-man show on one-person show with 15 minutes. So I'll just go through that list of all the training. Most of these I know and I feel comfortable with. Those that I don't, I'll touch base with you, Naomi, and anybody else from our team. All right.
Yep, good, thank you. That will need that on the pre-pets on the 25th of January. Thank you.
Got it. And do you need me to stay through the whole session, or once we're done with ours, I can leave, or do you want me to stick around for the whole pets?
It's up to you. If you want to stick around for the whole thing, you're welcome to. But if you only can do that time, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do my best to stick around.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I do want to give Patty a chance to talk, because she's got a medical procedure, and so she has to leave. So, Patty, if you're online, you want to go ahead and talk about the district grants and where we're at, and if there's people that are still outstanding.
Thank you. Yes, thanks, Dave. Good afternoon, everyone. We're kind of everything is so cyclical. We're doing two things. One is making sure, and that's with follow-up calls and emails, that we can complete the disbursement of all the grant funds. So roughly, I think 2/3 of the grants have been distributed to about 2/3 of the clubs, but we still have some who have not either submitted their forms, or their bank statements, or we just have to chase down. So we'll be doing that. And the second part of this is that the end of the month, January 31st, is the deadline to submit qualification documents for the coming Rotary year. So that's the other kind of chase we are doing. And thank you. Wanted to acknowledge Naomi for her help and guidance and really leadership in this area. Any questions?
Patty, I know you and I had a conversation. Is it okay to share that with
Yes,
regards
of
to?
course.
Okay. So Patty's going to do her best to try to finish out this year. And she's going to try to find a replacement. But if there's anybody else that knows of somebody that would be able to jump into her shoes and work with her, the sooner the better, because that way there can be some transfer of intellectual transfer between her and the new person. We're looking for somebody that's passionate about the foundation and the district grants, and would like to basically deal with the herding of cats, as I call it sometimes, of getting them to finish all of that paperwork that's necessary, and the items and classes they have to attend in order to be qualified for the district grants. So she'll be finishing up this year, but the sooner we can find a replacement for her, the more that person's going to be able to learn.
Dave, I have a couple of potential replacements, but I need to interview each of them first. But
Okay, wait,
I
hold
think-
on. Hold on. Patty, you were going to stay on, yeah, one more year, right? We talked about this.
I was planning to stay on through the end of the Rotary year,
This Rotary year.
this Rotary year.
Yeah, she
Well,
wasn't
it's
planning
timely it's timely to understudy someone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she can't attend to do it for next year. So Patty, any luck with and please, folks, you can't nominate somebody. You need to talk to me about it, and then let's talk about it together, and then I will go ahead and offer that position to that individual.
Yeah, if during the short time I've been involved, I see two skill sets, and they're kind of diverse. So one is what I described, being willing and able to kind of bug people in my professional life, I call it nudging people, reminding them, asking them politely, just kind of keeping on them. The other side of this is the other skill set I see, and they could be they are complementary, but not always found in one person, is the record keeping. So we have the now we have a new what I call a portal that will be starting to institute, but it's still having to track, the 3 documents that we get that are due at the end of the month, who sent them in, who didn't, are they all complete, on and on and on. So those are the kind of the 2 types of people we're looking for.
Thanks, Patty.
You're welcome.
So folks, think about anybody who's passionate in your club about the foundation, and if they might be candidates, and we'll be happy to talk to them about it. Right?
Dave, this is
Yeah.
Nancy. And I do want to remind everybody, I brought it up several times. Rotary International is strongly
know.
encouraging us to bring up from outside, from, new people, to bring up from the clubs and what have you, leadership, to help create leadership and support it. So an ideal situation would be if someone knows someone who's got good attributes, but may not know enough about what the foundation itself. But if Patty's willing, they take it on, but Patty works with them for that first 3, 4, 5 months, whatever. And then they're going to learn that way. And that's really, we're going to really need everybody to help overlap in order to bring new people into a lot of these titles, because I think they're thinking that's going to help strengthen membership commitment too, is when more people feel that they've got a need, a purpose, a title, maybe that might help them stay stronger and get stronger in Rotary. So let's really look deep into our clubs, okay?
Yeah, I'll give away my title anytime.
I think yours is at a higher level already.
Oh, jeez. All right. So yeah, I think we talked about that
Yeah.
at length last meeting, and we'll continue talking about that and pushing forward.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Appreciate that, Patty. Thank you very much. Dave, anything you want to share?
Well, I don't really have any report, Dave, but I do want to thank Patty, obviously, for her hard work on the district grants. And I will chime in that, yes, it's very intensive in terms of record keeping and tracking. I don't know, I think I estimated it's in the hundreds of hours of work every year to manage the district grant process. So I know we've talked about a team approach, and have never really been able to do that over the last few years. But I mean, yes, we do have a team. We've got qualifications and stewardship as separate entities, but just the district grant portion alone is it's a lot of work. So thanks, Patty, for doing that. I did notice on the last minutes that there was discussion, Naomi, I think you brought it up, about getting the allocation set for this coming year. And I'm just curious if there's an update on that.
Yeah, I started working on that, and I'll sit down and talk to you about that so you and I can have that discussion. There's going to be on February 1st, there will be a spending committee, the foundation spending committee that's going to get together and make the decisions of what's going to be, how things are going to be changed in the foundation. That could be some of the directions that we're getting from the foundation, from Rotary International Direct, as well as some of the things that we have electives that we can do differently, like how much of the share of DDF that we're going to be allocating, and how much matching funds, and how much of the percentage of match to no match. That is all on a district level. So that's going to be discussed within the officers of the foundation. But
Thanks,
you and
Dave.
I,
Yeah, keep me
you and I
posted
will
on
discuss that. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. I also wanted to mention that in line with that, there is some changes that are going on in Rotary, and they're basically going to be allowing us to have a 60-40 for 60% of the money going towards district grants and 40% of the money going towards global grants, with more of a push towards that. So that's going to change the allocation, and we're going to probably talk about how much of the net match, no match discussions. So that'll come through. Dick, I'm not sure if you got a chance to see, and if you folks got a chance to see the financial reports that I sent over, which included the annual, what I would call the cumulative giving report and the annual giving report. Again, those are confidential reports because they do show cash contributions, so please keep that confidential. I know for those reports are going to be very instrumental in us helping to identify people that are going to be attending the foundation dinners, because we want to make sure that we're inviting the right people towards the fireside chats, as well as encouraging other people to attend the regular foundation dinner. Dick, anything?
Thanks. I've had a chance to review the reports. Some comments and thoughts on it. First of all, appreciate your sending all of those over, and I've looked through them. And yes, we need to work on that for the fireside chats and the foundation dinners and so forth. Virginia and Paul are not present tonight. Virginia asked a question about Paul Harris Society members, and we'll have to address that. But clearly, we've got key folks we need to approach about attending these events and supporting the cost of the events that we have here. Beyond that, looking at the annual giving as a whole, I am pleased that our district governor and staff have worked to get all the clubs with a set goal this year at the beginning of the year. That's great. What's not so great is when I look at annual giving and stuff, we're not particularly strong right now. Now, many times we will probably see a lot of that pick up in the second part of the year. Looking at one specific case, Dave Mosdern came and talked to our club, and I went down and talked to his. And after that, clubs tend to chip in and give generously. I just finished today sending a check for my donation for one of the other clubs on Oahu, not my club, because I spoke to them and they pledged and contributed. So when we can reach out to the clubs, they reach out. We need to remind them that the year for giving ends on, for this Rotary year, ends on June 30th, and we need to keep that push going, and I will work hard to do that. I'm gonna have to push hard with the AGs and the club presidents, because the difficulty for me personally is that while for example, I haven't given as I normally have in Rotary year, because I had to give a high five-figure amount to support the Aviation Museum for their gala, of which I was the chair. Now it's my turn to give significant amounts of money to Rotary, and I will do that in the very near future. But again, we need to remind people that we need to do that, for it to count on this current Rotary year against our goals, to do that before June 30th. And I won't steal Roz's thunder, but I think that the fact that the giving is not quite where we want it to be applies both to the annual fund and to Polio Plus. And the idea is you give to the foundation wherever you feel it best to give, but we need to push that hard. So I'm going to be working on that. I think that we're doing reasonably well on EREY and club participation, but we need to up the annual giving amount. And that's kind of where I am. I find a little bit at this time of the year, when I go out and ask, I find myself personally in a little bit of a dilemma, because I'm also the co-chair for the district conference, which is not a 501c3, and asking people to contribute to that, and also asking people to contribute to our Oahu Foundation dinner. So people are coming to me and saying, okay, you've got 3 hands out, which one should I put money in? So it's something to work through, but that's where we are. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Dick. Appreciate that. When I looked at it, I thought I saw that we were at about 85% of our goal number for the foundation at this time of the year, which to me makes me feel real comfortable that we'll make the goal number, but we should be exceeding that.
I agree, but I'll feel good when we're at 115%.
Yeah, and we need to be about 115% to really get, show.
It's hard to train
improvement.
an old fighter pilot to be a guy who asks for money, but I'm learning. And the
All
good
right.
news about it is if we, I only offer this as a get off the stage thing. I think for everybody, they need to look at what giving to Rotary means. We understand what it meant when we had to give for Maui. And we understand what it's going to mean for folks to give for what's happening in Los Angeles. But everybody personally ought to get involved in the projects. For me, none of this has anything to do with recognition. I got a wall full of medals and stuff that don't mean anything. For me, all it means is seeing the fact that kids who used to crawl across the filthy floor of the Delhi train station, dragging their withered legs because they couldn't work on a farm and they needed to beg or starve because polio struck them. And India's polio free. And we did that. We Rotarians. And seeing kids in Papua New Guinea, where I just visited, grateful to have clean water so they can take home to their family and they don't wind up with all kinds of intestinal diseases. That's what it's about. So I would encourage everybody not only to give to the foundation and to Polio Plus, but go on one of these events in another country or here in our own neighborhood and see what the money does. And I'm off my stage.
All right. Thank you very much, Dick. Appreciate that. All right. So Virginia couldn't join us and Paul couldn't join us, but I will say that, you know, the big donors seem to be behind this year. We only have one person that's reached white hat this year. So we've only had one white hat so far, and that's someone from Sunset.
Dave, that's my bad, probably, because as I said, I did some stuff for the museum, but within the next 2 months.
No, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying, I'm just saying
I want you to know that I'll stand up and be counted for at least a white hat and probably more than that. Thank
I
you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, you need to kick me in the butt and the other.
It wasn't a kick for you, but I'm just saying
No,
in general, our numbers are a little bit down on the large amounts, but I do see a lot more participation, which is great to see. All right.
Cool.
So go ahead and Rick, anything on your side?
Well, I'm going to echo a lot of what Dick said. The reports that you sent out, Dave, are really helpful. There are some new white hats that are not, I know of two here on Kauai, as a matter of fact. So we got that. But the other thing that I think the reports are going to really help with are these foundation dinners. I noticed, like, for example, we have someone here on Kauai who is under $300 away from major donor status. Come on, that's an easy take, you know, and looking at some other folks who are very close to their next tier. And I think this is a great time to encourage that sort of activity of getting to the next tier in this. And I'm also going to take a moment for a soapbox here. Dick mentioned what's going on in Los Angeles. And I know I've been on Facebook. I've seen a lot of fundraising things and everything. The one thing I do want to point out, back in, I believe it was October, District 5280 sent a bunch of people to Maui, and they did some volunteer work over the weekend. Ted and I joined them over there. That is one of the districts that is directly being impacted by these fires. So if there's any way that you can help them out, please do. That's a great thing to do. And while I'm on the topic of Maui, I'll also just point out April 25th through the 27th, we're going to have a District 5000 work weekend over there. And I know that Ted just signed the contract with the hotel, so we can start getting people signed up for that.
What hotel is that? I have had people ask.
Yeah, it's going to be at the Outrigger Kaanapali.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Do we have a rate on
25th through the
that?
27th of April. We do, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. I'm sure he'll put out a email on that fairly quickly. All
Yeah,
right.
I will just point out hotels on Maui are not inexpensive.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing that with a lot of the foundation dinners where they're coming in with outrageous pricing. So we may have to make some changes on that. All right. Appreciate that.
Sure.
Roz, thank you for joining us. Did you get a chance to see the report?
I did.
And I know it doesn't say 100% on that report because I think it's still counting some clubs that probably haven't been pulled off yet. But I think we do have 100% goals on the Polio Plus too. But it's showing 96% on that, so I'm assuming that that's because it's showing some clubs that have not been dropped yet.
That is correct.
Okay.
But as far as, is it my turn?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, good, thank you. I'm feeling a little bit okay about the contributions coming in because hands out in every direction right now. But what we did receive, and I went back to November, we received 11,516 Polio Plus contributions, which brought our year-to-date up to 35,048. That was November. In December, we received 11,356, which brought the total up to 46,409. And that was just through the end of December. And I pulled the report today to get the numbers. We've given over $2,500 to Polio Plus this month already, which I'll go now at 48,966. So there are a lot of things going on and a lot of need out there, but I really appreciate every bit that we're getting because it really, really helps. And with the ceasefire happening in Gaza right now, coming up within the next couple of days, Rotary Foundation will be sending more drugs out for vaccinations because that area has not been able to have not been able to vaccinate all the children in the Gaza area because of the fighting going on. So we're going to be able to do a little bit more, hopefully, in getting the kids there vaccinated. So I appreciate the contributions that's coming in and what we've been doing. And there was another report I had, but I can't seem to find it. But any questions on polio? Also, Charlotte on the Big Island wrote a book on polio, and I think we mentioned it once before. So that book is going to be one of the giveaways that we have at the awareness walk for polio on Maui. Also, we're gonna sell them in the House of Friendship there too, with the funds going toward polio. And there are hundreds of books, and if we can get these books out to our members or our people, not only here, but other places, then it's gonna help fund polio and more kids are gonna have the opportunity to walk.
Fabulous. So we're having two walks, the awareness walk in Maui and then the one at the district conference, right?
What awareness walk in Maui?
Well, I thought that's what you just said was the awareness walk in Maui.
No, the books are gonna be for the awareness walk. The books are coming from Maui.
I
So if
see.
any of you are traveling to and from Maui, take an extra suitcase, piece of luggage, so you can bring back a box of books.
All right. Thank you.
I got a
Um,
question.
Go ahead.
Roz, what are we gonna do for World Polio Day this October? Because are you going to zone training
What month is this?
October 24th?
No, what month is this? January.
Right,
Isn't
so
October another year away, huh?
10
we're doing
months.
our calendar for next year already for the PEs, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
Is
we're
there-
gonna be
is there-
doing
Is there a conflict?
yes.
yes.
a
Okay,
conflict with what? I'm sorry. I'm
Zone
missing
Zone
something.
Institute's the same day, crazy that they
Why
have.
would they do that?
Yeah, well, 26 and 27, zones 26 and 27 will be in Albuquerque on World Polio Day, which means we might do something nice in Albuquerque, but the problem is some of us cannot be here in Hawaii to do a program. So we wanted to, Roz, let's meet with you sometime and talk with you and let's see what's the best thing to do. So we keep everybody involved. I mean, the 10 or
I got
12 Hawaii people will be there.
I got it now. It's just I
So-
had not put two and two together yet.
Yeah.
So we're
So
not
when you say,
changing,
what
we're
are
not
we
gonna
doing?
change the date then, right? We
Well,
won't
World
change the date.
Polio Day is not
We
our
can't
date.
change the date.
Yeah.
We may be able to change the date of the event, but we
Yeah, that
we
we
don't
do.
change the World Polio Day.
Yeah,
So
right.
we'll work on something. We will honor World Polio Day.
I think
something.
what I'll do when I talk to the team is that it's a great opportunity for the clubs to come up with their own program to on World Polio Day if they so desire, so that they
Well,
can
let us
honor
talk. I'm gonna
something on
meet
that
with Nancy
particular
and
day.
Naomi. So let us meet
Okay.
and get together and get some
Yeah,
information
give
before
me
you
some
do that.
feedback before Friday then.
Before Friday?
Well, actually, yeah, before Friday.
What's happening Friday? Is that World Polio
I'm-
Day already?
No, Friday is when I have to talk to the clubs about World Polio Day and all the events that are on the calendar for the foundation.
You just say it's on the calendar. We will have an event.
Okay.
We
And
will have an event.
I could coax them into saying, think about some creative, I want them to do it earlier than 1 month
Okay.
before the event.
Okay, do what you want to do. Okay.
Give me feedback. Give me feedback if you can.
Okay, will do.
Okay, appreciate that. Thanks, Roz. So Arjun's couldn't make it and James isn't on the call, but they did give me an update. I'll put that on the minutes. They sent me just before I got on this call, he sent me an update. It looks like we've got about 4 global grants that are waiting for approvals. Funding has been done for most of those. And it looks like the Fiji project still may be possible because after we had our discussion with the global grant individual over in Evanston, they wanted to talk about seeing how we can make this work. So he's still pushing for that. We are also changing some of the language on the Maui grant so that we can get that through without any further delays. What we're doing in April isn't considered a part of the global grant, so we can still do the project in April without any issue, without that global grant being approved yet. So we still got work to do. Questions on that?
Dave, we're still expecting an update, I think, from James Ham in the near future on the Papua New Guinea grant.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, he said he was going to call a meeting shortly to talk about it, so I'm sure he's got a good handle on it. Well,
that's probably going to be on the International Committee Day, which is the last
I think
Thursday.
I think it probably will, yeah.
The last Thursday of the month. They're usually pretty good about having their meetings. I know they weren't dark on December like we did, so I'm sure they're having their meeting and I'll try to attend that also.
Okay.
All right, appreciate that. District grants, Patty, we talked about that. Steve, you want to talk about, we're coming up this spring. Are we ready for a party?
I'm always ready for a party. We don't have a date yet. Naomi and I will figure out a date. Thank you, Naomi. But you know, our one last year was very successful. We had a real good turnout, maybe the best turnout we ever had at Aloha Beer, and maybe that was one of the reasons it was a good turnout. We even had a high school kid, you know, the $10,000 winner of the HRYF scholarship came. She loved it. And the nice thing was, you know, it's a bar, right? So technically she's not allowed. She was what, 17, 18 years old. So the parents are right outside in the car. It was kind of cute.
Yeah.
But she really enjoyed it. So we're going to do that again. And I see no reason not to do Aloha Beer again. I think that's a good draw. You know, what we do is we're going to do this again too, which I think works, is make it kind of a round table where to start off, we go around the table and have everybody introduce themselves and talk about what their, you know, foundation, Rotary Foundation connection is or was, and what they continue doing. And that, you know, always triggers, well, have you joined Rotary? So that's good. So we're going to do that again. And we'd like all of you here to come to that because everybody here can share so much. And, you know, the beer at Aloha Beer is pretty good. One other program we're going to do. Has anybody here heard of the Journey to Peace initiative? No. Oh, Roz, you have. Roz, what do you know? What have you heard?
We're on the committee and we're working it. There's a lot going on with the peace initiative, that journey to peace and peace. Peace plans are being made. We had a huge meeting last week with people from the university, as well as the international president that was here, incoming international president was here. So we're making plans for the journey to peace and working that issue. What do you need to know?
Okay, so wrong. That's pathways to peace.
And journey to peace as well.
So journey to peace is something different.
Yes, but we had meetings on that too.
Well, there hasn't been any because I'm on the committee and I would know. So the journey to peace is a part of Pathways to Peace. Pathways to Peace is the framework that'll kind of be the Rotary. Roz, step in and correct me or anybody else if I'm wrong. But I've talked with Alan Hayashi and others who are organizing that. And they need programs. It's a framework, like part of a peace hub instead of a peace school. So they need programs. And one of them is one that I've started, which is called Journeys to Peace. And just give me 30 seconds to brief this. Many of you know that I'm a retired Army colonel in the JAG Corps. And I have all these friends who are retired West Pointers. And one of them came up with an idea for this Journey to Peace initiative, which is to have a roundtable commemorating the major battles and events and campaigns of the Pacific theater of World War II, especially in light of the threats in the Pacific Rim that are current, and educate people, especially young people who are going to be leaders, on what happened and how it can be avoided. We've already had 3 sessions on the Saipan invasion, which was bigger than D-Day, by the way, and then the Leyte Gulf invasion, which was twice as big as Saipan, and then just this past Saturday, the battle for Manila. There were over a million Filipinos killed during World War II. So a lot of people don't even know about this. And we actually had one of our panelists was the founder of Aloha Beer, Steve Sombrero, whose dad was a congressional gold medal, which is just secondary to the Medal of Honor. He was one of the leaders of the Filipino guerrillas during the Japanese occupation. And it went over really well. We bring in a world-class panel, an author, a retired 4-star general, a retired ambassador named Jim Moriarty, which many of you may know. So in any case, the next 2 ones are going to involve our sister clubs. Tokyo, Osaki, that area was totally destroyed by napalm that we dropped during World War II. And then our sister club, Hiroshima Tona, which is the Rotary Club in Hiroshima closest to the epicenter where the atomic bomb dropped. And they're both on board. It's very cool. So our next one is March 1st. We're having the curator of the Tokyo Bombing Museum give a presentation along with our panel. And then later this month, we're having our semi-annual visit to Hiroshima, and we're going to be meeting with the Peace Museum folks there to be part of this Journey to Peace initiative as well. So I'm going to invite all the Rotary alumni, foundational alumni, to these seminars or these roundtables, which this is what Rotary is all about, is peace. Frankly, just to give you, sorry, I'm running with this a little bit more than I thought, but I've informed the Rotary chain of command of this. Nancy, I don't think I've informed you, but Ted and Mark, and I've gotten no feedback and no attendance, and I've asked that it be publicized, and that's why I asked if anybody's heard of this. Nobody has because nobody's publicizing this. Um, Pearl Harbor Rotary Club is one of the sponsors of JPI, and 8 retired Army colonels joined the Pearl Harbor Rotary Club in the last year because of this project. And they all love it. This is why they joined. So it'd really be nice if District 5000 could back this as a foundation event. So any questions, feedback? Sorry, it took longer than, but I'm so excited about this.
I got some feedback if I can, Steve, Dick May. I'm not a retired Army colonel. I am a retired Air Force colonel. And I spent several hundred combat missions in Vietnam. People shot at me. I killed them with napalm and 2,000-pound bombs. I've also worked with the folks in the Philippine Armed Forces to try to work on peace initiatives when I was stationed there, and have been in most of those ground zero places. I think this is great work. I mean, I trained the German Air Force pilots recently in the Air Force, and we talked about World War II and the outgrowth of all of that. And similarly, through the Aviation Museum, I've hosted the survivors of the Zero Fighter Pilots Association who came to us to offer scholarships and everything. This is about building friendship. I'd like to be involved in this. And to the extent that I can, I could offer the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum, I think, as a venue where we could do some events. Because what we find out of all of this is it's not former warriors who are first to go to war. And we are the first persons who understand the consequences of making those tough decisions. So I applaud what you do. I'd like to be a part of it.
Thank you,
Steve?
Dick.
Steve,
agree. Go ahead.
On Saturday, there was a presentation of the Journey to Peace. There was a panel with Major General Richardson that happened. So the word is out there. And I don't know when you say that you've heard nothing about it.
That wasn't us, Roz. We had a
Okay,
presentation Saturday, but General Richardson was not involved.
It was a Journey to Peace. It was
It
a
was.
panel discussing that, yes.
It was, but there was no Richardson there. By the way, Dick, in follow up to you, thank you for your offer of making the FAM, the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum available. That's where we've been doing it. So
Okay.
we've already had 3 sessions there.
I thought you had, but I don't have visibility over everything, but if I can help in any way, let me know.
Yeah,
And I do want to be a part of this.
All right,
appreciate
folks.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We need to move on.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, Alan, I want to give you some time. I know you haven't been able to make it to some of our meetings, but I know you probably have a lot to talk about on the peace initiatives.
Sorry, Dave.
Yeah.
Sorry, the DG line went through the policy manual and we were talking about the alumni committee, and it was the discussion was moving the alumni committee to the membership committee rather than foundation. So what do you guys think about that? Because it's more about, the alumni committee is more about getting the alum to join, right? So it's part of membership. So should that committee move, the subcommittee move?
Well, that's the first I've heard of this.
So what do everybody what do you guys think about that?
What's the
Yes.
goal? Membership support or financial support or both?
Well, there's no financial support, but the mission for the alum is to try and get the alum to join Rotary, right? So it's part of membership.
So it does fall under membership, under trying to get people to become members.
Yeah. So in other districts, I've seen where that committee, the subcommittee, goes under membership committee, the district membership committee, rather than the foundation committee. So if it's okay with you, you guys, with all of you, we can do that. We can change it to the membership committee.
When does that decision have to be made?
Well, we want to bring it up to the, we brought it up once, but the vote goes to the clubs in April and it's voted on at the district conference.
We can get them to join as members of Rotary, then they will support the Rotary Foundation, hopefully.
There's an argument for both sides. I understand, because obviously you're trying to get them to become members, but we also want them to be contributing to the foundation.
Okay, well, we can bring that up next time for.
Yeah, let's have a discussion on that. And Steve, I want to hear from you on this one off camera. And basically just get some ideas from you on this and the arguments on the other side too. So we can discuss that further. All right, appreciate it. Go ahead. Alan, I apologize. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, no, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Well, I guess those of you who have been on this committee from the past realize that the Rotary Peace Fellowship really starts going at about this time of year. On the 1st of February, Rotary at the Peace Centers will issue the applications for students who are interested in applying for this program. And just a quick reminder for all of you, there are 130 positions open for the Rotary Peace Fellows, of which 50 are for the master's program and 80 are for the professional certificate program. And as probably all of you know, the master's program is a typical 2-year program, like any other master's program. And the certificate is a 1-year program, approximate. And so I haven't seen the applications myself, but like clockwork, the Peace Centers put together these applications, and February 1st, it'll be available. And then we have until May 15th for the students to apply. And what's important that we all realize is that this is for applying to the academic year 2026 to 27. So in other words, this coming fall, the students have already been chosen from last year's applicants. And so when you're out there talking to anyone, if someone brings up the fellowship, just be aware that the applications are going for approximately 1.5 years from now before it really kicks into starting. So 2026, 27 applications is what we are talking about. I think it's appropriate for me to ask at this point if there are any of you who might be interested in serving with me on the committee for the fellowship. We have a couple of things will have to happen. Those who are interested in volunteering will have to go to the Rotary.org Learning Center and take an online course that is available. And it's really a very easy course. It basically gives a background to the fellowship and how it's put together and the applicants, where they come from. You learn about the different universities that are offering the master's program, as well as the universities that are offering the certificate program. So it's really easy. The prime effort is really when we get involved with helping the applicants with their applications. Their applications basically have three parts: the application itself, the resume, and then their essays. The application, there's not much to do there. The resume and the essays, that's where the students really need help. And that's where the committee members so far have done the real major work on helping these applicants. So I'm asking if anyone is available here, and if any of you know someone who might be interested in this. I've been doing it now for a few years, and I enjoy it. Part of what I am doing this year is because of my heavier involvement with Peace Corps, and how Peace Corps is there's an actual Peace Corps course at the UH, and it's folded into the Matsunaga Institute for Peace. And I've already spoken to class this past term, and in this new spring term, I will be speaking to students who are in this Peace Corps class, and I always take the opportunity to talk about the fact that once they go through the basic baccalaureate for peace and conflict resolution studies, they can continue on with the master's. And of course, there are lots of programs available throughout the US at the different universities. But Rotary's Peace Fellowship is definitely unique because it is 100% fully funded, and the study takes place outside of the US for the most part. I mean, yes, Duke University of North Carolina are involved, but all the other universities are major universities outside of the US, which is an interesting draw for many of the candidates. And that's it. That's enough for today. Any questions?
Report.
Yeah, good report, Alan. Thank you. One of the things we did discuss at the last meeting was that we are asked by Rotary International to try to get additional people to shadow us and be leaders of the foundation in all of our jobs descriptions. And so instead of looking for one of us, I think what we need to do is look within our Rotary family, all of the Rotary clubs, to see who's involved with peace and has a desire to deal with the peace initiatives, and see if they want to join you as a partner, because that would be the person that would be the shadow, be able to shadow you, and also be a future leader to take over in the event that you decide you don't want to do this any longer, or you want to basically have a smaller role in it. So maybe it's reaching out to the club presidents, or actually getting a chance to speak to some of the clubs. And when you do your talks, try to talk to them about seeing if anybody's interested in partnering with you as a mentor, or that you being the mentor to them.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. I will
right.
do that.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Good to hear that that's moving forward, and we're looking forward to hearing about all the applicants that are coming from Hawaii. Do we expect to have a number from Hawaii or just
Not sure. I had a couple of students express interest, and it's not something everyone jumps at, so we'll see.
all right? Naomi, and because we're running over time, do we need to talk about stewardship at all? Is there anything we need to follow up on stewardship?
No, it's just that the reports are in. We need to go over them and make sure that we tackle the sightings that are on the reports.
Okay. Let me know if there's anything that I need to do with you guys on that. If you need help, let me know.
Okay.
As far as one of the things I've asked Naomi to do, because we're trying to work on all these foundation dinners, which also is involving a need for a fireside chat at each one of these events. And I just got noticed from the Big Island that they're going to be doing theirs on Wednesday. That's the 26th, I believe it is, or 27th. And then the 26th would be the day that Kona would have to do it. So we're having some problems with venues. Some of the areas are cost, but I've asked Naomi to kind of help standardize some of the stuff, coming up with kind of an agenda for all of these sites, so that we can follow the speakers' agendas or what they're going to be doing, what their roles are, some commonality between all the sites, so that we don't have a bunch of events that are very unique and different and cause some issues with regards to the speakers. So she'll be helping to standardize that and come up with an agenda for the meetings. And Naomi, you want to add anything to that?
No, but we'll have a meeting of the chairs very soon.
Yeah, we're going to be probably having regularly, almost weekly, or at least every 2 weeks, because we're running out of time, to make sure that everybody's working together on this, even though they have their own separate events on all the neighbor islands, because there is some commonality. We want to make sure there's a common theme that's going on all of these. All right. Has anybody ever thought about us doing silent auctions at any of these things for additional fundraising? I know it's kind of short notice. All right. Okay, let me see, is anybody else on the agenda? So I did want to say that we've got Kona established for the 25th. Kona would have to be the 25th. Hilo would be the 26th. Kauai is doing the 27th. Maui is doing the 28th, and Oahu is scheduled for the 29th. And Dick, you and I need to talk, kind of figure out what we need to do to bring some of that cost down, even if it requires a different venue. But I don't think it's the venue that's costing us. It's the caterer,
Well,
right?
We used the Pearl Harbor Aviation Museum as a venue before once, because my predecessor in this annual giving role was also a member and a major donor. He's moved away, of course. And we did an event there and it was well received. What we envisioned this time was on the 29th, as a wrap up, was to open the museum in the evening so that people could visit the museum, visit the exhibits, fly the simulator, which is, it's about a $50 value, and then all donated. And I would donate the cost to rent the venue and stuff. The issue is the meal. And I did initially reach out to Chef Chai. Chef Chai has served us well on a number of things. We don't have an agreement that allows it and requires we need to use it. Chai is getting ready to retire and closes restaurants, and this may be one of his last catered events. So I asked for just a nominal cost for all up costs to run a fabulous catered dinner for 100 people and one for a buffet for 100 people. And they came in respectively at about $30,500 and $25,000, which is pretty stiff. Now, the issue I think I need to work on is, if we use the venue, do we use a different donor? Do we come up with ways to, and we can, or a different caterer, we can do that. So I guess the issue really for now is I'll be off island for a week, but in touch. But in about a week, I need to start figuring out what I need to firm up and giving folks some money out of my pocket. So I would like to figure out where we want to go with that. So open to ideas and also open to any thoughts about those who may want to serve as sponsors to help reduce the cost. We've only started thinking about sponsors. I'm going to put $3,000 in it. That pays for the venue plus some of the other costs for the event. Dave, you volunteered some money as well. So we just
Yeah.
need to look at it. I'm not hard set on that. The idea was that we could have the museum open. If people wanted to show up early, we would take them up on a tower tour to see everything from the top of the historic tower. But if they get here during the event, they get to see the museum exhibits in hangar 37, and they get to have a fine dinner, and they get to fly the simulator if they want. So that's kind of what I was
Okay.
offering. But I'm happy to take any input.
We need to wrap this up, but I agree with that. Let's figure out what we can do, Dick, to bring that cost down. And also we need to coordinate, Naomi, all of the people that are going to be helping with the fireside chats, because that's kind of a separate individual that's going to probably be doing that, and what venue we're going to have for that. But
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say, but thank you very much for your time. Sorry we're going over. Nancy, any closing comments? Short?
Just that I've been texting with Steve about the peace projects, and so I really want that to be a part of my year. So hopefully we'll be able to integrate a lot more of that. And then I'm already trying to work with people on making sure communication gets down to the membership, and I know that's an ongoing problem.
Absolutely.
So
And Steve articulately covered, I think, the Peace Project, and I'm aware that they're working at the museum. I'm just offering, because, as one of the vice presidents of the museum, to help wherever I can to lean forward as a meeting place and stuff, and also to participate, because we can bring in others. What I have found over my time in the museum is that it isn't the airplanes, it's the battlefield, but it's the stories of the people. And it was very gratified the day that we opened this museum to have 29 elderly Japanese fighter pilots. These were pilots who had attacked Oahu on December 7th, coming to the museum to join the museum and offer scholarships. And for that, and for the fact that I also trained the German Air Force, ran their program for fighter training in the US, and got to talk to many of the people who were fighter pilots in World War II, not hardcore Nazis, people who got sent to war by their country. What I found out in all cases, it's similar. I went to war for my country, believing I was the guy with a white hat, and flew several hundred combat missions. And who knows who has the white hat? God knows, and history will judge that. But the fact is, we have an opportunity here as a platform to bring people together and talk about peace. And if we work together with people, train with them, become friends with them, maybe we don't fight with them so quickly. So that's what
well, yeah, no, I mean, we need to definitely broaden that. What do they say? If
I'm
you
not I was happy to fly in combat and serve. I'd fly again, but I'd rather not send my daughter to
There you go. There you go. Our granddaughter. But yeah, no, we need to, if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. There's got a lot of history we don't want to repeat.
Yeah.
Last week when I was in Honolulu, one of the talks was from, I cannot think of her name. I've really gotten sick here, that talked about peace and war. And it was there at the Pacific Club. It was fascinating information. So we got a lot of ability to spread the word about a lot of things. And then we need to look at getting into young people in that. So I'm hoping to incorporate a peace theme in my district conference at the end, or after the end of my year in 26. So, and I'm really gonna keep trying to push on, when 2027 comes, that somehow we've got to have Pearl Harbor has got to be a part of the international convention. I'm sorry, Rotary talks peace all over the world, but they don't have Pearl Harbor.
Well, I'm going to be on the hawk, obviously, as I was the last time around. And I've already been talking to the museum about establishing a presence in the House of Friendship and working on how we can pull all this
Good,
together.
good. We need to get thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of people over there, maybe some event during the convention, as part of the convention, pre or post or something. I think it's critical that we incorporate Pearl Harbor in some way, shape, or form, and some of that absolute history. And I think the people attending want to be there. I think they've heard it their whole life, that there would be a
I
wonderful
think so
venue.
too, and I think I can help to make that a world-class opportunity for them,
Yeah,
so. we'll see.
good. Well, let's keep moving forward. Thank
right.
you.
All right, cool.
Paul,
Okay.
I see that you joined us. I apologize that we passed you up, but I will send you a list of those people that have become white hats.
Yeah, I
so
got,
far.
yeah, thank you. Sorry I was late because I had a doctor's appointment, but yeah, I got the list of the annual report and I've noticed, well, Dick, you never tell me, you always say you never tell me when you achieve your next levels. So you're well above, and same Rich Ziegler. But I noticed
No,
there's a few other
Dick
people
hasn't
that have
done it
achieved
yet.
it
I'm
over
gonna
the
send you
years, and
more.
I
I'm gonna
just
send you
don't
more
know if they
money,
don't
but I
tell
don't
me.
have to send it before next week in order to get another white hat.
No, yeah, I mean, you'll have, I don't know if they have another concho for you. It's you and Rich probably are getting horses or something, but yeah, I know there's some people I know that, we awarded, and there's other people I don't even recognize. So I know that we haven't. So I'm going to work through that and see if I can come up with a list, bounce it off what I know I've given out. And then I'll let you know. I'll work with Dick on that. That's all I got.
And if you
That's all I
just,
got.
yeah, just sort that by the total TRF, and you'll see, actually, it's probably the major donor category. And that'll tell you.
I gotta offer kudos to Paul as our white hat guy, because he's jumped on that. He's worked it. He's met me out in pouring rain and everything else to do what we need to do to make sure we get the recognition and everything done. So, mahalo nui.
Thanks, Paul, for your efforts on that.
No, I had good mentors. I'm just trying to keep my head above water. But
Yeah,
thank
we
you.
all know.
Thank you.
All right, next meeting is February 19th. I appreciate it. Thank you all for your time. And if anybody wants to stick around and chat, I'm happy to do so.
Right.